Shope, congratulations. Slaight Music, JUNO Awards, Masterclass. You are now part of this class of 2019, Launching Pad, Future Stars. How does it feel knowing that you're part of something that, as I said, literally is a launching pad for future Canadian stars in music?
It's kind of surreal, to be honest. When I set out on this thing many years ago, you're like, I want to do it at a high level. And you spend so many years working at, like, first of all, the amateur and then the semi-pro. And you kind of believe it'll happen, but you don't really know if it'll happen. But when it starts happening, you're like, how is it happening? kind of thing, right? So it's very surreal. I'm incredibly grateful, and I'm just trying to keep a level head about everything and realize that this is really just the beginning. This is where the real work starts.
Absolutely. Now, for folks who don't understand what this the JUNO Masterclass is, explain what it is, and also how did you get involved?
Right. The JUNO Masterclass is a week-long intensive artist development program. That's really what it is, right? So in the industry, a lot of money is dried up. And so there isn't a lot of artist development taking place anymore. So shout out to the Slaight family and the JUNOs for saying, you know what, we want to develop artists. And so it's a week-long, full of workshops, one-on-one sessions, group sessions that really teach you a lot of things about the industry. And in addition to that, they connect you with necessary people who can help get you to the next level. I personally got involved because I won this year's CBC Searchlight National Competition. The CBC Searchlight Competition is billed as trying to find Canada's next JUNO-ready artist, and thankfully out of a few submissions across the country I was selected as the winner, and one of the prizes was being a part of this year's class.
Congratulations on that. And you and I were supposed to do like 2 or 3 interviews this year after you had won, but you were busy traveling and doing all your thing and everything else. So glad that we could actually do this. Winning that, what was the experience like for you getting involved, getting your song involved? What song was it that you got involved with that, and when you found out that you were the next winner?
It was my song "Come With It," and it was kind of surreal. It was one of those things that when I applied for the CBC Searchlight Competition, I really did it on a whim. I did it very quickly and forgot about it. I was like, no, just because like you're so used to getting disappointed, you're so used to hearing no's that you kind of learn to temper your expectations. So I submitted it, left it, and forgot about it. So fast forward when I got the notification that, oh, you made the top 1,000. Oh, that's super dope. Oh, you made the top 100. Okay. At this point, you go back and you kind of like read rules, regulation, prizes. You're like, oh, this is kind of dope. You made the top 10, and you're like, oh, okay, this is this really could happen, right? And when I finally got word that I heard, I remember I had to really like control myself. I was actually at my other job at the time, so I had to step out and really just kind of catch my breath and come to terms with the fact that, wow, like this literally is about to change everything. So it was an incredible feeling of gratitude, an incredible feeling of validation, but definitely I had to like take a couple moments to center myself.
Talk about life before all this.
Right.
What was going on with you and the love of music, where that all began for you too?
The love of music just started out of listening to music that I loved, that spoke to me in a very deep, powerful, and personal way. And I remember I just loved it so much, I had the thought of, I wonder if I can create this thing that I love listening to. So for many years, independent, I was part of a collective for many years. We eventually parted ways. But during that process, I learned a lot. I booked several tours of my own, nationally and internationally as well. Learned the process of making music, was able to develop a core creative team. What was lacking prior to this was a solid business team, right? So the creative piece was taken care of, and I was doing a lot of self-learning and trying to get the business part up to speed. What this has done is that it's kind of accelerated that business team. So since then, thankfully, I've been able to leverage that into new opportunities, new partnerships, new relationships, and I'm excited to see what additional things will come out of this, right? So the music team, the creative team is there. Mm-hmm. Now there's opportunity to collaborate with even more creative people as a result of this. And one of the significantly lacking things before was the business team, but now that's being built out now directly as a result of this whole Searchlight.
Does that mean you're going to be able to quit that job?
Hopefully sooner than later. I'm already doing a lot less than I was. So
I love that. Lyrically though, in songs, what do you like to write about? What touches you the most?
I think love is one of the most powerful things You know what I mean? So I'm a man who's in love, but love doesn't mean it's always happy, happy, joy, joy. You know what I'm saying? I have my history that didn't necessarily things didn't work out the way I wanted them to work out at the time.
It happens to all of us.
Happens to all of us, and in hindsight, you're like, yo, I'm so glad that didn't work out. So I write about that. I write about my current experiences. I write about life, and the kind of music I make is very confessional, as very kind of like confessional and love driven, right? So I'll talk about just how I process the difficulties of what it's like maybe just being an immigrant, being ambitious, having goals, and also what that's like, just sort of like navigating the ups and downs of love and everything like that.
Now, the single we were talking about, the one that you did for Searchlight, what's that one about?
That song was called Come With It, and I wrote that song sort of reflecting on what it was like when I met the woman who's now my wife. And I remember prior to her, I left a 4-year on and off thing that didn't really work out. And when you come from that, it's kind of hard to dive back in again. It's kind of hard to trust. And so the song "Come With It" just goes. I was writing it in hindsight, and when the time came and I realized that, you know what, this woman is literally everything I've been looking for. It was kind of like an honest confessional of who she is to me. And what I need her to do, I need her to come with it, even as I come with it. Come with a loyalty, come with compassion, come with patience, and let's just do this thing together.
You know, this is old school you're talking here, right?
Yeah.
This is old school. This is what I grew up on. These are the kind of songs that like I said, grew up on and listened to lyrically and all that. You realize you got a little bit of that old school in you.
Yeah, I think like my philosophy of life and my worldview definitely governs how I see things. Mm-hmm. And I recognize that many times I don't fit in with the way some other people see things or view things. So what I try to do is I try to bring, some kind of like that old mentality, but I try to wrap it in a contemporary aesthetics and contemporary sonics. So individuals who are listening to other artists who may not see the world the same way I do will still listen to my music because sonically it's kind of like it's aesthetically on the same level. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping I'm giving people substance for life, things that will enrich them, not just in the immediate, but like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. I want to make timeless music.
Are we looking at new tracks here? Are we looking at EP, album? What's happening now?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a new single coming out within a couple of weeks, and that's going to be part of an EP that I'm looking to drop Q1 of 2020. Can't really exactly say the date yet, but right now it's slated for an entire EP is slated for top of next year with a couple of songs between now and then. More
shows for 2019 and 2020?
2020 is currently being booked right now. 2019 is sort of coming to a wrap. I have got the recording residency for the week. At the tail end of that, I've got kind of like a performance workshop. And then with the exception, I think that's pretty much going to be it for 2019, unless some other interesting things pop up. But for the most part, I'm just really trying to set up for hopefully an impactful 2020.
To have a year like this, which is incredible for an artist, what advice can you give people who, as you said, you've been banging your head against the wall and going, failure, this is going to happen, whatever, and then it does happen. What advice can you give them that hopefully they can hold on to the game?
It sounds cliche, but don't stop and don't quit. The other thing is I'll say don't take for granted the little things, right? I remember when I was doing all these shows, and I'm not even kidding, Ruby, I'm not kidding. Like, I would do a show and there would be 7 people. 4 of them would be my team members. You know what I'm saying? Or slugging out to book these tours and like, I did that tour and I did it. It was great for looks, but it wasn't really profitable. I lost some money. Or, I did this tour and it was mildly profitable. And you're like, am I doing the right thing? But one of the things I realized was I set KPIs, key performance indices, meaning things that, so how was my follower count? How many people are showing up to shows? How much money is that? Da-da-da-da-da. And I always saw incremental progress, right? But nothing kind of like amazing. I was like, this song is going to, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. And so I just kind of realized that the big break is rarely a big break. The big break oftentimes is a culmination of a million little things you do. And that was made even more true when I realized why I was selected as the winner for Searchlight. I was like, why? Like, I'm a singer, but there are people who are stronger singers than I am. And they said, you have the full package. Like, you have a legacy of putting out consistent music over a long period of time. You have a touring history, right? Whether the big shows or small shows, you have a refined social media presence. And these were all, and I was thinking back to all of the little things that I did that I thought were, this is worthless, but it formed part of the full picture, right? Each thing added to the piece, added to the story, so that when it came time for that opportunity, I was well prepared for it. You feel me? So to sum it up, do not stop, because success is preparation plus opportunity. You create some opportunities for yourself, but then some opportunities are serendipitously given to you. But if you're not prepared for it, you're not going to be able to take advantage of it. So keep going.
You and the Toronto Raptors, perfect examples of this. I love that. Social media is the place to go. Where do we go to follow you?
At all of Shope, ALLOFSHOPE. All of Shope on Facebook. On Instagram, on Twitter, and if anybody's on Facebook, it's at allofshope.live.
And I guess really the next time most likely I'll see you is going to be at the JUNO Awards.
More than likely, I'll be at the JUNO Awards this year. Can you believe that? I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth.
Say it one more time.
I'm going to be at the JUNO Awards next year.
I love it, man. I will see you there. Congratulations and all the best for 2020.
Thank you so much.